1865. The Great Plains. Where 30 million buffalo roam. Vast, untouched, a wilderness dividing America. Crossing the continent takes 6 months. 20,000 die on wagon trains. By ship, it's an 18,000-mile journey around South America. To conquer the wilderness and unite East and West, President Lincoln greenlights a transcontinental railroad. 2,000 miles long. It will transform the nation, triggering a tidal wave of settlement across the Great Plains.
The railroads were vital to the expansion of America. This technology connects people in a way that never before in the history of mankind has there been that kind of connection.
America's ancient wilderness meets modern American steel and muscle. An army of hammer-wielding men. Irish immigrants. Civil War vets. Railway men. Their mission, to tame nature itself. The biggest obstacle heading east from California, a 12,000-foot wall of granite, the Sierra Nevada. Where the Pacific and North American plates collide, billions of tons of ancient rock rise up, crumpling like tin foil. Over the last 4 million years, the Sierra Nevada mountains climb more than 2 miles high. They're still growing, 13 feet in 1,000 years. One day, they could rival the Himalayas. Only a madman would dream of running a railroad across mountains like this. They don't call him Crazy Judah for nothing. Obsessed with the railroad, he sees a way through.
Come on down, boys.
Theodore Judah makes 23 trips into the peaks.
And pick that, boys.
Plotting a path across ridges and through mountain summits. Building it will be the engineering challenge of the century.
Yeah, let's mark that.
This is the most magnificent project ever conceived. An enterprise more important to the people of the United States than any other.
Good.
The railroad will be built, and I will have something to do with it.
Americans love someone who can go through seemingly difficult or impossible things and make their dreams happen.
With Judah's route approved, 2 companies begin work. The Union Pacific starts from Omaha in the east. The Central Pacific from Sacramento in the west. They'll meet in Utah. It will cost over $2 billion in modern money. But the government doesn't have enough cash. It pays the companies in federal land. They must finish in 15 years or lose everything.
We have learned in this country that you really don't get anywhere in life if you don't take some risks. I think America is by far the shining light of the world in so many ways because we are risk takers.
Paid by the mile, adding curves adds profit. Corrupt investors bilk the railroad for every cent they can. A 9-mile curve means an extra 120 acres of federal land. They'll end up owning an area the size of Texas. First, they must conquer the Donner Pass, 7,500 feet up, the highest on Judah's route. Cursed by 30 feet of snow each winter. Avalanches. Tragedy. Here, just 20 years earlier, the Donner Party became trapped in the snow and ate each other. Now, Judah's Railroad cuts right through the mountain. 1,649 feet of rock must be excavated, the longest tunnel on the route. Chinese laborers dig day and night. It's easier to ship workers from China than get Americans across the continent.
The railroad magnates said, the Chinese built the Great Wall, didn't they? Let's bring the Chinese in to do this work.
Over 10,000 Chinese laborers earn less and do the deadliest jobs.
The Transcontinental Railroad was built by Chinese workers brought over specifically to work on the railroad, and they were considered somewhere in between human and animal. They were not expected to survive. They were expected to come here and work and die.
7,000 miles from home, 17-year-old Hung Lei Wo swaps a life of poverty in Canton for the back-breaking work on a railroad gang. Hung Lei Wo must cut through granite so tough, a rock the size of a big toe will support a 50-ton locomotive. Progress slows 2 inches a day. To break through, they need nitroglycerin. But transporting it is banned when 15 men are blown to pieces. In a mobile lab, Scottish chemist James Howden mixes it on the spot. Nitroglycerin is 13 times more powerful than gunpowder. So unstable, any physical shock and it will explode in his hands. Howden gets hazard pay. $4,000 a month in modern money. After 3 months in the mountains, he turns to drink, leaving the nitro to Chinese men like Hung Lei Wo. Irish crews won't touch it. Detonation creates temperatures of 9,000 degrees, as hot as the surface of the sun.
So.
An estimated 1,500 Chinese die in explosions and rock slides. Hung Lei Wo survives. His son will be the first Chinese American to graduate in engineering from the University of California at Berkeley. Once through the mountains, track laying accelerates from 10 inches to 6 miles a day. Each spike is struck 3 times. 10 spikes to a rail. 400 rails a mile. 21 million hammer swings complete the railroad. May 10th, 1869. A one-word message arrives by telegraph. Done. A 6-month journey across the continent is cut to 6 days.
The folks who had once had to risk everything in a wagon train, that is eliminated. You now can get on the railroad and travel from Boston to Sacramento. That's a revolution.
the internet of the era, the Transcontinental Railroad changes everything it touches, triggering a mass migration to the Great Plains.